4, 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? Sorry about that. I forgot my water. Welcome to the Jason J. Daniel Show. Monday edition, Monday overreaction day. This is where we get to overreact concerning things that happened this weekend in politics for the world. Right now, talking a lot about politics because it's important to me. I'm a conservative. If you haven't realized that, but I'm a new Republican. I've been a conservative for a very long time, wasn't independent, and I live in California. So thanks for watching. Thanks for following. If you're interested, I'm Jason J. Daniel. This is my show. If you're just watching this stream, I really appreciate you watching. And if you like what you see, please like or subscribe. And I'm everywhere. Please subscribe on YouTube, Rumble, or like on X. And right now I'm going to check. I have to check our, here we go. Got to check my sound. Okay, sounds good. I'm my own producer. Here we go. Cool. I'm my own producer, so I have to do my own sound checks and stuff. So crazy weekend in California. Really interesting football weekend if you're a football fan. I do sports too. I do. I have a TikTok, and my TikTok is real Jason J. Daniel right there. And I do sports memes. I roast sports stars. I'm kind of sarcastic deep down. That's funny to me. I enjoy sarcasm. I think that's a sophisticated form of comedy. And I do some skit kind of stuff on there. I am an actor as well as a podcaster. So if you're interested in sports, I do a lot of football right now. It's heavy, college and pro. Check that out. I'd say the biggest controversy this weekend, there was a lot going on, and so one of the biggest controversies is Gavin Newsom, his Twitter team or him, whoever it is. Clearly, he signed off on it. They posted one really controversial tweet. And yes, I know it's a post now because it's X, but it doesn't matter anymore. I'm going to say tweet, post, whatever. They posted a tweet that was really, really inflammatory and, in my opinion, really disgusting, despicable, violent rhetoric. There's no excuse for it. And, what I was saying earlier, I don't know if I finished this, but I was an independent. I'm now a conservative, or I'm sorry, a Republican. I've always been a conservative. So anyway, I just wanted to get that clear if you're new to watching. So Gavin posted, he had a wacky weekend. He posted something about Stephen Miller. We'll talk about that. He essentially dog whistled all of his shock troops, which are Antifa on the West Coast. That's pretty much Gavin's power, I think, really is kind of a West Coast thing. There's a lot going on the East Coast, of course, but I don't think he's in that power structure like he is on the West. Now, he is right now the leader of the Democrat Party. Pretty clear. And there might be two. I mean, Schumer might be one. Jeffries and Schumer are really botching that up. They don't know what they're doing on that end, but it is what it is. So they're kind of the low key guys, the low key soldiers. And then they're the yin, and then you've got the yang, which is Gavin Lunatic Newsom, who is doing everything he can to really try to hurt conservatives, hurt the conservative movement, bring embarrassment to Trump, and intimidate Trump voters, make MAGA angry. And he's trying to get them to do something nasty. That's my feeling. Now, I'll show you, I'm going to show you some of the tweets and show you some of the reaction. And we'll show you some of the Antifa. I'm going to go through X and show you some of the Antifa activity that went down in Portland. I know that there was Antifa in Chicago, but the Portland stuff is a little more clownish than the Chicago stuff. The Chicago stuff, they had some folks with guns, and they found bombs, I think, and they arrested some bad actors. Terrible stuff. But in Portland, they did arrest some lunatics, but that's a little more clownish. Now, just as dangerous, and there are very dangerous agitators out there, and it was pushing that this weekend, but ICE was winning. Antifa's losing. they're pretty much Gavin Newsom's shock troops. That's the way you can look at it. He does a dog whistle on the internet, and they bark, right? And he's always mixing it up online, or at least his crew is. It's difficult to know because he is a coward, and he's got these little cowards that are kind of twerps that their pictures have been circulating, and these twerps they're saying are the ones actually doing the ridiculous, over the top rhetoric stuff. Now, back in the day before Charlie Kirk died, I guess it is what it is. It's kind of funny, kind of, tongue in cheek. Trump is ham-fisted with the stuff he does. So Gavin's team is trying to mimic that, and they're mimicking his branding and his memes, and they're just really just kind of they're just mimicking Trump, which to me is like, okay, it's funny sometimes. I mean, I have a sense of humor. You have to have a sense of humor. If you don't have a sense of humor, then that leads to you doing like radical stuff, right? I think that's the fine line. I think don't take yourself so seriously, have a sense of humor, and everything's going to work out, but be strong on your principles. And obviously, protesting is very important. I think we all should protest. Me getting on my podcast and calling Gavin Newsom a coward and saying he's a moron, that's a form of protest. That's free speech. It's my right to say that. You all know it's true. We know it's true. But he's taking it way too far, and we all agree with that. Everyone agrees except the left wing, the lefties. And I think if they really started standing up, I'm not seeing it at all. I'm seeing them be quiet. Against the radical violence, I'm seeing them be quiet, and that is everything. Silence is everything. I think what's really cool about Republicans and conservatives is they will kind of fight each other. They'll stand up. They'll resist. I mean, Trump even has his soldiers resist him every once in a while. I mean, think about Epstein, right? The Epstein list. That became a whole thing. I had people that were, when I was talking about it, because I was saying, hey, the Epstein thing's not going anywhere. Quit worrying about it. I had people who are very conservative, or I guess you can say right wing or Republican, who I know, who started messaging me like disappointed in me because I wasn't upset at Trump and I wasn't demanding the Epstein files be released, because my position was, you haven't seen it yet. Why are you worried about this? You're not going to see it now. There's so much progress that's being made. Why are we making a thing of it? Now, that was like 2 months ago, right? I think so, yeah. So anyway, my point is that Trump's own supporters, MAGA, at times will be upset at Trump because they're like trying to hold him accountable, and that's what conservatives do. I think a real problem with the left wing is that the normal ones, there are normal people that are liberals, but they're being completely like put in the back corner by the radical left crazies. The maniacs are taking they're taking the spotlight. They're front and center when it should be the other way around. And it used to be like that. The liberals used to control. There was always radical nut jobs, liberals. They would always control those. And yes, there are right-wing nut jobs too. Sure, there was, during the Clinton administration, there was obviously very terrible right-wing kind of terrorism that went down. And the Clintons blamed all the Republicans. So that's history. But I mean, it's happened on both sides. But at this point, clearly, it's like 80-20 on the percentage. Like most of the violence is being done by the left, and they're the ones being front and center. So you got Gavin, who's being front and center on dog whistling these people. And it's super, one, it's cringy, it's irresponsible. It's just like, what is the point of pushing this? Because you know that people are going to get hurt. Remember last week, Gavin got on the Late Show, said a bunch of nasty stuff about ICE. ICE is essentially the devil. They're Nazis. They're secret police. Now, he didn't use that word, but he might as well have. He used all the verbal imagery, verbal symbolism to create imagery in people's minds in order for them to believe this shit. And then the next morning, a crazy starts killing people at the Dallas ICE facility. Right. So now then Chicago became a thing, and now Portland this weekend. Let me show you, if you didn't see it. Not all of you, I know, are all over X, but if you didn't see it, I will show you Gavin's tweet. His tweet, and this is what became the thing that everybody was hyper focused on. this weekend. Now, there's a couple of interesting things that happened this weekend, but this is the one that everybody was like apoplectic over. Oh, did I stop? Oh, did I stop sharing it? Oh, sorry about that, guys. Okay, cool. I'm my own producer. Sorry. Okay, now I have to. Oh, here we go. There's so many buttons I got it. Okay, so here it is. So Gavin's tweeted this at what time was it? It was. He tweeted this 8:31 p.m. on the 26th, and so this became the thing on Saturday and Sunday. He posted from his press office, Stephen Miller is a fascist. In bold letters, boom. And you name it, everybody, the president on down, especially Stephen Miller, his wife, me, everybody responded and essentially said, you are you're despicable. You are trying to get him killed. You're trying to get him attacked. And I believe that. I believe not that he was trying to. Let me reframe that. I believe he doesn't care. I don't think Gavin Newsom cares if Stephen Miller is hurt or anybody else in the Trump administration. He didn't care about Charlie Kirk, even though he said it. I'm sorry he was murdered. He did not care because the next day he was attacking his legacy like everyone else. He was attacking Trump. He continued the rhetoric. And let me just clarify. I don't think Gavin Newsom is willfully wanting Stephen Miller to be assassinated. But what else are you going to get from this kind of bullshit rhetoric? I'm not trying to go easy on Gavin. I'm just trying to be reasonable. Because there is a part of us that if we go all out and say Gavin Newsom is trying to get Stephen Miller killed, I mean, I don't know if that is a legitimate thing to say, but I think this earns that opinion. Like if you read this and that's your opinion, I'm not going to begrudge you that. I think Gavin Newsom would like Stephen Miller to be to have protests against him, people stalk him, people destroy his property, terrorize him. I think Gavin Newsom enjoys terrorizing his enemies. He's been terrorizing all of us for years and years. Did you know that he's been in California government in one way or the other for like 30 years, starting in San Francisco? It's unbelievable. The guy's never worked a real job in his life. He's a slacker. He's a liar. He's a scoundrel. He's a drug addict. He's a drunk. He's a cheater. He breaks the man code. He stole his best friend's, or he not stole, but he slept with his best friend's wife and destroyed his best friend's marriage. He's a philanderer. I'm not trying to be like hyperbolic. I'm just saying this is him. This is your guy. Now, you might be saying Trump's all these things. I'm not going to begrudge you your opinion of Trump. Trump's no angel. Trump's done some interestingly moral questionable stuff in his lifetime. I'm not trying to compare the guys. But Trump didn't say this about enemies. Trump didn't say, he might be trying to put him in jail, but he didn't say this. Or he wasn't, he said this before, but he hasn't done it in this way. It's just different. I'm trying to be fair. Now, so then underneath you got Nancy Mace and some others that are highly critical of Gavin. And Nancy says, I think this is interesting. She says, Gavin, this is very dangerous. I agree with that. I think it's super dangerous. Please, for the love of all that's holy, stop the violent rhetoric. I don't know about for the love of all is holy, but I'll say, yeah, it's violent rhetoric. It is. And she says it's been 2 weeks since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Get your shit together before someone else gets killed. I absolutely agree with that. I agree with that. So I think there's a balance. I think it's irresponsible to say that Gavin's trying to get Stephen Miller killed, but I don't think it's irresponsible, on the other hand, to say if he gets Stephen Miller killed, when are we going to hold him responsible? Like, I'm very concerned about the violence. In fact, if you watched my show last week, when Gavin got on the Late Show and started doing that, and we watched the video together, and he started doing the ICE rhetoric and, ICE, they're secret police, they're Gestapo, all that stuff. They're going to steal you in the night. They're stealing your babies. When he was doing all that, I said to you guys, hey, I'm very concerned by this. This is disturbing to me. And then boom, the next day, a lunatic who writes, here you go, fascists or whatever on the bullets, goes and kills innocent people at an ICE facility. So it's not unreasonable to say, hey, Stephen Miller, Stephen Miller's a fascist. It's not unreasonable to say that is violent rhetoric that a killer would say, because they're all saying that. All the assassins are saying that. So when Gavin writes that, or his people writing his little twerps, his cyber twerps, it's a fair criticism to say you're trying to get him killed if that's how you feel. I don't necessarily think that, but I do think he's trying to terrorize Stephen Miller. He's trying to terrorize Trump. He's trying to terrorize anybody in the administration that has power. Why? Because Gavin's not going to be the president. He knows it. He knows he's a failure. He knows there's no way in this day and age that if he ran in the general, that all the clips and all the foolishness and all the stuff he's done over the years won't come back to haunt him. And people will soundly reject that. They've soundly rejected him now. So he's operating out of ego. He's operating out of narcissism. He's been a mistake. He's been a disaster. Even Schwarzenegger, who was a really bad governor, is coming out and saying Gavin's making mistakes. Jerry Brown, months ago, I don't know if you saw that article, or I believe it was it was an interview, said that California is so to the left and the legislature is so out of control, nothing's getting done. They're hurting the state. And he said, this is what he said, that they are over legislating California to the point to where they are bankrupting California. That's a real big thing. Speaking of over legislating, so in Gavin's wild weekend, he did his dog whistle. That didn't work out. People even this morning are still killing him over it. Sorry, poor choice of words. They're giving him a very hard time online about it. And then the DHS tweeted about how he's out of control. His mask thing is a joke. And he took an L on the chin with the mask secret police thing. So let's look at that really quick. I thought it'd be interesting to bring up an article. Let's see here. Where's it at? Let's see here. I've got so many articles queued up. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so here it is. So Department of Homeland Security, let me cue this up, responded to Gavin Newsom's foolish, Homeland Security right here. They responded, this was on the 22nd, this was last week. They responded to his foolish bullshit law about ICE can't wear masks or whatever. And he just really is pantomiming. He's pretending this is making a difference. He goes out and does the talk shows and signs the legislation and sits down and acts like he's Trump. Everything is trying to be Trump and makes a thing of it, but it's a law that no one's going to obey. That's a federal. Now, if you're a state official, state law enforcement, you have to obey it, but no one in the federal government will obey it. And this is really interesting. DHS said, despite 1,000% increase in assaults on ICE officers, Governor Newsom signs unconstitutional law to ban law enforcement officer protections. It's not about the masks. It's about the symbolism behind it. It's about the vulnerability. He's just making law enforcement vulnerable. Now, I want you to know, I'm a law enforcement supporter, but I do realize there are bad actors out there. And yes, there are probably ICE agents that take it way too far because there's a lot of power being an ICE agent when you're out there doing the raids and all that. There's a lot of machismo going on. Everybody's amped up. Whatever you call it, there's adrenaline. People getting hurt. People are getting dinged up. They're getting thrown down. They don't play by certain rules that other law enforcement play by because they are federal. You don't have to, it's just different. It's essentially a constitutional department. But it's interesting. And when you read this press release, this is interesting here. It says, sanctuary politician Newsom stands with gang members, murderers, pedophiles, and terrorists over law enforcement. Oh, man. That's harsh stuff, man. That's the worst of the worst. So our government, federal government, is looking at Gavin Newsom, the governor, and they're saying to his face, you stand with criminals. You stand with murderers, pedophiles, and terrorists. And I have to say this. They're absolutely fucking right. Because if I was a terrorist or a gangster and I saw the governor sign a law saying all of law enforcement have to take their masks off, that means I can dox them, I can harass them, I can take photos of them, I can terrorize them. They're doing me a favor, especially if I'm organized crime. Gavin Newsom acts like a crime boss, and that is so fucking real. There's no exaggeration to that. He acts smarmy. He acts like he's a member of the head of the five families or something. He acts like he's a mafioso. He's got the slicked hair. He talks like he lies. He makes things up. He talks like everybody needs to bow to his will. He's super arrogant. And then when he's not on point, he's doing word salad and people can't understand it. He's egotistical in his press conferences. He doesn't pay attention to reporters asking questions. And then, the one thing I wanted to point out in this is they called it the No Secret Police Act, which is so disturbing. It's really disturbing. What disturbs me is that Gavin Newsom, I'm disturbed by a lot of Gavin Newsom and his cronies, but what is ultra disturbing is the doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on the Nazi, nasty, fascist type of rhetoric and calling people these things and the no secret police. Come on. Do we really have a secret police? Let's take a step back. And I'd like to ask Gavin Newsom and Scott Wiener, who's just made for the internet. He's perfect. I would like to ask them, where is the secret police? Because they're driving out in daylight. They're grabbing these people, arresting them. Everybody's screaming at them. There's documentation. There's internet. There's media. What is secret about any of this? They have ICE on their jackets, FBI on their jackets, DOJ. They're on the internet all the time saying, we're coming after you. You can call 911 if you're concerned, and they'll tell you, yes, ICE is on this street. There's nothing secret about what's going on with ICE, and they've never been secret. During Reagan, during Clinton, during Obama 2, during Biden, all right, during Trump 1, they were doing their job. In fact, Trump is trying to deport more than they've all done. Bush 1, Bush 1 and Bush 2, all of them utilized ICE. Now, Trump is the only one that campaigned on it and really did it. They all campaigned on it, but they never did it. He's the only one that's actually taking it to a level that's unprecedented. But nobody is saying this about Trump. They closed the border. It's astounding. They closed the border. I can't even get into how incredible of a feat that is for children. The children were being brutalized at the border. They're still trying to find the missing children. Like, we're losing the point here. And when Gavin Newsom is making up lies and saying there's a secret police and going on talk shows and wearing his $3,000 Italian suit and sipping his lattes and stepping over the homeless in San Francisco for a photo op, he's missing the point. It's about the children. It's about the future. Why do we want things to be safe? For the children, so that there won't be innocent mothers murdered and children to have no mothers. We don't want fathers killed in DUIs coming home from work by an illegal who has disobeyed an order where they're supposed to leave for 3 years, or violent illegals doing violent things. I know immigration is a sensitive topic, and I'm no expert at all, but I'm an expert on this. We want families to stay together. We want children that were being forced to go across the border to be safe. And closing the border made children safe. Like I was, when I heard about how many children the Biden administration lost at the border, I was weeping. I was crying over it. It makes me so emotional. We're missing the point. The children are our future. And doing these things to create a safe environment, that helps our future. Look, some of us are at a point in our life, we're a lost cause. I don't want my neighborhood safe for me. I want it safe for my kids. That's what it's about. It's not about me. It's about the kids. Charlie Kirk was going to college campuses. It wasn't about him. It was about the future, the kids. So I don't want to digress here, but but I want to talk now after getting emotional over the kids. They're doing better. Okay, we stopped the border cross. The border's been closed, so the kids are gonna do better. I'm feeling good about that. So I want to segue to something that's super fun. Let's segue to Mr. Mr. Scott Wiener, who is just one of the most unbelievable humans ever. Actually, let me make a point of this here. Let's see here. Okay, cool. Back to what we were saying earlier. So this is News 5, NBC News 5. Okay. This is a clip from NBC News saying, "Hey, fascist, catch." Message written on bullet casings in Charlie Kirk shooting. Notice that in Gavin's tweet, he said, "Stephen Miller's a fascist," with an exclamation point. All that stuff is important to understand, that there are patterns, there's symbols. Symbols are important. You may not realize this, but on 4chan, 8chan, all those bulletin boards, there is rhetoric that is built into the symbolism, built into rhetoric. Gavin Newsom has cyber twerps that know exactly what they're doing. They're sending dog missile messages to the shock troops. Hopefully that came out right. I'm talking kind of fast. I have to be better about that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I was wondering if anybody would watch on a Monday Night Football doubleheader. I did watch some of the games. They're hyper boring. I'm trying to get back to Scott Wiener here. So Scott Wiener, he's one of the most incredible pieces of work that I think we've seen. We've seen a lot of pieces of work in California. Let's be honest. But this cat, he, I want, first of all, I may just vote for it. I just may move to, here's a picture that he posted this weekend. I may just move to San Francisco, register to vote there, just to vote for this guy to keep this going. I don't know, guys. I might be worth it. His content is another level of just nutbag. Okay, so now, okay, we got the abs. Okay, let's give him some props here. We got the abs. Okay, we do need to get a little sun in San Francisco. You can see it's a little cloudy there on Folsom Street. The Folsom Sex Fair is where he was at this weekend. I'm not, and let me just be very clear. I'm socially liberal, so I'm not begrudging what San Francisco does in their streets. Now, we may not agree that it's healthy for children or for everybody, but I'm that's not my point now. We're just gonna focus on the politics here. So after, I'm sorry, the skinny arms, dude. We gotta work out, baby. You gotta get out there and we need some protein bars. Can you get a protein shake before you go out there and shake it? Okay. So he's got the old okay. So he goes with the green, like, I don't know, like trunks, swim trunks, and he's got the old he's got the half bowl. I'm sorry. Look, this is the internet. I can say we got the half bowls going. He's pretty happy. Look at the smile. He's smiling. He's feeling really good. So we got an innocent bystander though back here. This guy got doxxed. I'm sorry to him. But okay, he's got the shades, the Tom Cruise shades, and look, we gotta give him. He's got the ab action. I gotta give it to him. So he's doing the ab crunches. But he's got to lift. Look at that forearm. There is no excuse for that. I understand you want to look good in the suits that Gavin Newsom lets you borrow. I'm cool. You're wearing his clothes. You guys are like the same size. but you got to work on those arms. Now this arm looks a little better. It could be like the angle, but we got to work out. Okay. And the traps are good. I mean, he's worked out. So anyway, so some of you saw this and were absolutely repulsed. I was overjoyed. I was like, I think they all should actually show up at the State House shirtless. Okay, shirts and skins. I think everybody should do that. That would be, or at least the San Francisco delegation. That would be awesome. So, all right. So, all joking aside, this guy is a dangerous guy. He really is. Not because he runs around with his shirt, pop his shirt off, and it's cool. He's a dangerous, mentally dangerous with his ideas and his ideology. Here's an article that I thought was really cool, only because it's written by one of the most left-wing news sites in California, and I thought it was interesting that they're just straight out just talking about how awesome Scott is, especially with what he did with that law. So, okay, so this is the Davis Vanguard, like Davis, California or something. And of course, this is clearly, a left-wing kind of thing. Look, there's left and right, so I don't begrudge it. I'm gonna call it out. But here's this. This is dope. So let's go ahead and put a picture of a guy here that says police ICE. Now, I'm not sure if that's, first of all, I don't know if this is a real picture. Like, it could be a stock photo, but it could be. I don't know. It could be ICE. It could be a real photo. Let's see what it says. Vanguard administrator. That doesn't tell us. Okay. But this is like a propaganda newspaper from Dave. If you've ever been to Davis, California, you know what I'm talking about. So Senator Wiener, if I call him Wiener, I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. I'll say Wiener because it's a lot more fun. And so this article is his response to DHS saying Newsom should veto the Secret Police Act, which Newsom didn't veto it. This was a few weeks ago. So Wiener's quote is, "Masked secret police." I wanted to read this to you to make a point. There is no masked secret police. It's not happening. That is a lie. There's nothing secret about ICE, okay? You could call them up right now and they would talk to you. They're not hiding from anybody. But it's important that they keep masks on in cases where they're going to get attacked, okay? I have seen a lot of videos like you where ICE does not have a mask on. But I've also seen the videos where they do, okay? So I don't know. I'm not out there in the streets watching it. I'll take their word for it that there's more masks than non-masks. So he says, they're not making anyone safer. Oh, they're making me safer. Okay. Instead, they're creating an environment of lawlessness and fear that puts federal agents, law enforcement, and civilians at, okay, they're federal agents. See the lies that they spew? They'll say there's a secret police. That's not the federal agents, but it doesn't exist. So he can say that. Does that make sense? In his mind, he can lie to you because that's a fantasy. So he can spin lies in that fantasy because no one really is going to hold him accountable. So no, civilians are in danger. Yes, in some cases, if they're out there in the mix, the whole thing is dangerous. You have guys with guns, you have automatic weapons, you have illegal aliens that most of them that they're rounding up have records. Now, I do understand they're rounding up illegals that don't have records. I understand people are getting caught in that, and they're taking people out of courts after they're being said, you must be deported, and they're waiting for them outside the court. I get that, okay? And, the families are there, and it's a thing. It's not pleasant. I understand it happens. I'm not trying to deny that reality, but in most cases, they're taking really dangerous people off the streets. And I can't speak to the fact that if you are not illegal, if you're not legal, and the ICE comes up and says, I'm arresting you because you're illegal, I don't know what to say to you about that. Like, there's some things that the math is easy. Why do we want to make the math complicated? Well, because we don't want to believe what our eyes are telling us because we listen to people like Wiener and Newsom. That's why there's confusion, because our leaders are confusing us and confusing common people that are just being honest about life and they just want to move on. But they're getting a lot of these lies pumped into them, especially in the California mainstream media. Every media outlet in California, in most cases, are complete arms of Gavin Newsom's PR department. So anyway, so this article goes on to say, Wiener, Democrat, San Francisco, no kidding. He was the lead author of SB 627 and blah, blah, blah. There's all of his, his statements. So that, and there's somebody, there's a hit my thing. There's a commercial with some toes. Sorry about that. That was grossing you guys out. Sorry about that. So, and speaking of wiener, speaking of the old wiener, so let's show you something else here that's interesting. So this is a really interesting post by a gentleman that I actually love his account, and he follows me back, so I'm super blessed. Thank you, sir. Dr. Himati. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Dr. Himati. I guess if I loved him, I should subscribe. Huh? So he posted, ladies and gentlemen, this is very powerful and influential California State Senator Scott Wiener, who happens to be, I even follow him, okay? It's not like I don't follow these guys, I do. Who happens to be Gavin Newsom's right-hand man, always standing behind him at every press conference. Yeah, look, he's looking good in the suit. We know he's got hot abs, all right? We like the abs. Gavin's got the mafioso Count Dracula going, and he's got his $3,000 Armani suit. But these guys are really close, so they've developed a simpatico relationship and Gavin has absolute control over the California legislature. Don't even fool yourself. So Gavin sends a text, and Scott will start the legislation. Think about how fast they got that through. It's pretty hard to get these things through, but not for these cats. I mean, the Republicans, they try to get through like simple shit, and it like gets kicked off the floor in the California State House. Like, we really need deliverance from the lunacy in the State House in Sacramento, California. It's crazy. That's a whole nother show. So you just got to understand that Wiener is he's the yes man. He's the right-hand man. He's whatever Newsom wants. And he's in a powerful position. I mean, that's extremely powerful. So here's so speaking of that, speaking of their collaboration, I think it's interesting. I want to give you another factoid about. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Let me jump on here. So here's another thing you need to know about California State Senator Scott Wiener. After Charlie Kirk was viciously murdered, he labeled Charlie Kirk a vile bigot who normalized dehumanization. That word is very important. That's a talking point. We'll get to that in a second. Now, yes, this is Fox News. So, if yes, it's right leaning. Okay. So, this is talking about how the RNC did research and saw that Wiener was disgusting with his comments. But I wanted to just make that a point. That Wiener disgraced the memory of Charlie Kirk. And why is that important? Because they don't care that he was assassinated. Now I'm going to get dark. I'm not saying they want conservatives to be murdered, but I'm saying they don't care if they are. And that's pretty terrible. If any of these people, Scott, Newsom, God forbid, were injured or hurt by a lunatic, I would be the first one to say, my God, that's terrible. Get well soon. I hope, whatever. I mean, thoughts and prayers, that's a real thing. I would condemn it, and I would feel sick over it. And that's the problem, is that there should be no violence, but we're at a point where violence is normalized. And dehumanization is a code word for these guys. If they dehumanize the opposition, then it is easier for people to take violent action against them. And that is terrible. It's terrible. So you'll hear certain words said over and over by Gavin and his cronies because they're trying to break down your moral compass, because they know the crazies are out there just getting ready to pop off and get activated. And as soon as they pop off and get activated, Bad things happen, and then the reaction is what they're trying to control. They don't need to control the shock troops. Gavin already knows that's already working. He knows that there's going to be left loons. He knows they've been working on that for years. So now they're coming out of the woodwork. And by the way, I have not mentioned the terrible murders and attack that happened against the Mormon church this weekend, only because I haven't had a chance to. But there's so many things going on. That's another thing. The guy was anti-Trump. The guy was a radical. The guy looked like, Duck Dynasty, except, Angel of Death version. And the guy drove through a church, not to digress from what I was saying, but it's a terrible, brutal tragedy. Broke through the doors drove into the church. Boom, into the doors, started shooting, shot one guy multiple times. I watched the press conference today. He survived. He shot other people. People got smoke inhalation. 5 people died, though. The fire, and children were injured. And this is a left-wing radical. And have you noticed? And you might be going, well, Jason, how do you know? Because they haven't made a thing of it. Well, how do I know? That's how I know. Well, they did report he had Trump signs, or anti-Trump signs. Not he had them. He had not Trump, anti-Trump signs. Let me be clear. So there's that. But here's how I really know. Has any Democrat, big-time Democrat with a voice, screamed for gun control? Right? Whenever it's somebody on the right or somebody that they can pin it on the right, they come out and scream gun control. It's like the whole talking points, right? Everybody tweets gun control. And then it's on the Sunday morning show on ABC, gun control, right? But when it's one of their Looney Tunes doing it, they don't say one word about gun control, right? So there you go. Then they just started about Trump. Whenever they're trying to cover up left-wing violence, they blame Trump or they blame mental illness, but they won't talk about gun control. This is not a gun control show. That's a whole nother conversation, but that is the thing. Okay, so that's how you know. So my point is there are lunatics, Looney Tunes on the left that are going to be activated. Newsom knows that, but what he needs you to do is feel like it's normal. He needs you to not be so freaked out about it. They need you desensitized, because if they tell you everybody's a fascist, they're shock troops, they're stealing you in the night, they're disappearing you, all words they're saying, unmarked cars, they're rushing to your house, they're kicking in your doors, they're Gestapo, blah, blah, blah. If they put that in your mind, even if you don't believe it at first, the more and more they plant the seed, the more and more your mind will normalize it. That's why it's super important to counter this stuff with everything else in the media, not just social media. Watch everything. Watch the right, watch the left, and then realize what your own compass is. If you don't, they're banking on you to not have a moral compass. They're banking on you to be so worn out with the economy in California. They're banking on you worried about what Trump's doing. They're banking on you worried about your children in the school district and trying to make money. They're banking on you worried about gas prices because Gavin's jacking it up. They are betting on you to be so wrapped up in your life that you will automatically accept the seeds that are planted, that violent activity is normalized, and that everybody on the right's a fascist and they deserved it. That is how you got all these lunatics after Charlie Kirk was murdered, just gyrating and freaking out and having orgasms over murder, because the seeds have been planted in our college-age children, and the seeds have been planted for years and years, especially after the last Trump administration and the transition, and we saw everything they did with the agenda. So I guess I'm maybe going off on a rant here, but I'm just trying to say, free your minds, open your minds. Even what the Trump administration does, be brutally honest with it. Be honest with yourself. You can speak up. That's what we should be doing in our democracy, or our republic, our representative republic. So, all right. So Gavin's weekend was wild, man. I've just been talking so much. Let me show you some of the interest. Here's some of the interesting stuff that went down. I'm going to show you some of the protest stuff. This one's very interesting. This one is incredibly interesting. I'm going to show you this. This is hold on. I always I always do this wrong. Let me show you some of what happened in Portland if you haven't had a chance to check it out. In the streets. So here's some of the Portland activity, which is crazy. So this guy here, there's a guy out on the street who's videotaping, and he's being chased by an Antifa dude. Check this out.
Get the fuck out. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, get the fuck out. You get out of here.
I guess I have the sound. Does sound down? Hold on here. All right, let's see if we can get our sound up. Okay. Here we go.
Don't try to hit me. Get out of here. Well, I have no.
Let's back it up.
Get the fuck out. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, I didn't do anything. Hey, get the fuck out. You get out of here. Don't try to hit me. Get out of here. Well, I have no. Get out of here. Don't come back. Get away from me. See you again? Get away from me, sir. Where are you? You're pushing me onto the road. Get the fuck out of here. Let me move. Let me get out. If you're gonna let me get out. Hey, sir, stop it. Stop. Walk, motherfucker.
You're pushing me out on the road. Sorry. his soy boy voice is pretty awesome.
What are you doing? Why are you so mad? I didn't do anything.
You did.
What did I do?
Walk.
I haven't done anything.
Walk. Do not come back.
Watch out.
Okay, so watch what happens in a moment.
You come back, I'm gonna fucking smoke you, dude.
So he threatens to hurt him. I'm gonna smoke you. I mean, first of all, look at the two masks this guy's wearing, right? So these protesters come out with these very sophisticated gas mask type masks, right? For the smoke and the gas they're going to get hit with. Where do they get this? These are all broke people. They look like the broke people, right? Where do they get this money? Then he's got the alternate mask, right? So and what's interesting, I have a question for Gavin Newsom. If you're going to sign a law saying that ICE can't wear a mask, which doesn't matter, what about these guys? How are these guys allowed to wear masks in the street? Oh, because they're your shock troops.
Really?
Yes, really. I'm going to smash that fucking camera.
Stop it.
Now he threatens to destroy his property. Now I will say this. This guy's bringing it on himself by going out there. Okay, I'm not going to take away from him, take away from his responsibility. I understand he's a young guy. He thinks I'm going to get some internet stuff. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go viral, which he did with this because we're talking about it. But look, he's putting himself in a lot of jeopardy. I'm not saying that I'm not putting it on him, but I'm just saying, look, you know that these guys are going to do this to you.
Stop. Sir, stop it.
He calls him sir. Sir, stop, sir. Stop.
Stop sticking your camera in people's pockets.
Stop sticking your camera. Now he's crying like a little bitch. Stop sticking your camera. Because he doesn't want to get on video, but apparently he's on video.
Face.
I have the right to be here.
Okay, did I say
I have the right to be here. Stop. I have the right to film. You have DH.
Now I think the reason why he's stopping his aggression is you'll now see DHS get on top of him, and that's why I think he started acting like a little coward. This guy here. You notice his aggression started stopping. Now watch this.
Just watching you right there, lasered on you. You have a sniper lasered on you right now. Stop it.
Stop sticking your camera.
Stop putting your camera. So then he starts acting like a little child because he's stuck. He's looking here. He's getting, watch this. You got what? Watch this. Boom. Fuck around, find out.
People's face.
I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. You have a sniper.
So this is his little guy saying, hey, you need to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. And then
on you right now. You have a sniper on you right now.
Okay. So that was interesting, right? I thought it was what's the word? Enlightening, right? Enlightening to watch. So here's some here. This one's a daytime one. So what's interesting? So you got the police here, Portland police, and you've got these. This is interesting. The signs are interesting. If not Gestapo, why Gestapo shaped? That's weird. Activism is patriotism. Okay, I don't have a real problem with that. Okay, so you see the Portland police. They're trying to hold the crowd back, but look what happens when the crowd gets a little antsy. And they brought out the out-of-shape bike cops. Let's be honest. These guys need to hit the gym. Look, if you're going to be out there, I'm not trying to be critical, but I'd be hitting the gym out all the time because these fuckers they're fucking vicious. We got this cat here with the mullet. So we got Mullet Town here. See, we got here. This is clearly Antifa. This guy with the purple headgear is, looks like he's just, okay, along for the ride. And then we got Grandpa here with this mask. And this person it's interesting. They could be documenting it. That's expensive. I wouldn't bring that camera out, but whatever. And there goes the police. They got we out. We out.
Power to the people.
Power to the we got he looks like he should be gardening. Okay, power. He screams power to the people. This says stand in love. What's that? Okay, stand in love. What's crueler than being cruel? I don't know. Is that like a riddle? Oh wait, check out. Keep your eye on this one. My fave, nude wheelchair chick. Look at so they're like, we're moving away. Here's more.
Get back, we say fight.
Okay, so this is where they're getting on. So they've got these are expensive gas mask gear, right? And then you see these are like professional signs back here. This one, not so much. You've got fresh flags from other countries. Always interesting. And then here's a special, hey, we hate Trump sign. This guy's got the gear, right? It's interesting, right? A lot of them have a lot of gear. And then the people wearing with all the camera gear, the document, it's always interesting to me. I mean, we got to see what's happening, but I always find that interesting why you would suit up and go into that. I don't know. It's just not my thing. Okay. Ice out of Phoenix. Oh, I really, that makes me want a slushie. I'm not sure. Like that's the most not mean sign ever. She wants to make us slushies. Okay, so look at the look in that. Look, they're like, we're on camera. We don't like this. This one put their mask up because they knew where they were getting filmed. Tear gas equals miscarriages. Oh, that's dark. Okay, kind of dark. He's like, all right, I'm not going to shout, but I'm going to wear the gear. So I believe it. Revoke the permit. I don't know what that means. I guess is that I don't know what that means. Hurting my brain. Some of these signs are so dumb. Ice equals terror. All right, but you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt and sandals. How terrorized are you? Come on. All right, so this is a nice little view of the top of the crowd. This guy's having a good time. You can always tell like the professional agitators. All right, we've got La Migra, but I have not heard. Okay, that was the old term back in the day. She's got a Clueless shirt on. He's like, "Don't film me." This cat's like, "Oh no." So, and look at that. There's always the dark, shadowy figures, all dressed in black, that are kind of terrifying. There's another one, right? That's how it's the truth is it's their uniform, so they can tell themselves apart. As well. Oh, that one's it. Look at these guys. These guys look at that. Look at that. Look, this right here. I would not show up and hang out in this crowd with these cats. These guys can do whatever they want to you, and you can't identify them. I just would not put myself in that situation. Okay, here's the guy with the megaphone. Got sweet hair. Oh, here's our guy with the head thing. Do like his style though. All right, she looks bored. Okay, they look bored. Fight back. Okay, stand in love for hey, I like standing in love. Now you're missing a flag that probably add the American flag. That's all I ask. Woo, somebody's fired up right here. You're not paying. You got to pay attention. If you're gonna go to the protest, baby, you got to pay attention. Shut down Macadam. I'm lost on that. Is that like the name of the street? Okay, he looks like he's had a lot of ice. Ice and feds out. Okay, fair enough. That one was a lot of fun. That was really interesting. Let's see here. There's a few more. We'll show you a few more. We didn't even get into this guy. We probably should in just a second. This one, okay, that's the smoke one. Okay, they're up here. This one's funny. All right, I got it. There's a few more up here. Okay, this one's interesting. Okay, so as the night went on, you can see that there's two sides. Like the videos are like at night, it looks very different, right? So we've got people getting arrested. So normally in these protests, before Trump said send the National Guard, let's get jiggy with it. People were just getting kind of tossed down, pushed down, but they were not arresting them unless they were really breaking the rules. But here we go.
Hey, you are. You're all lined up. This is ice right here blocking the road for you. This is ice right here blocking the road for you.
Spread this out.
This is ice out here blocking the road for you.
Spread out. Canada.
The bike guys are back. Okay, so now you can see the streets getting cleared out. We've got actually some legit riot gear on these cats. So I believe they were doing this in order to kind of calm it down, and also I believe they were bringing in ICE. They're bringing their vehicles in. This is the area they're trying to get into back here.
I have spaghetti for dinner. What do you have?
Did you just say I had spaghetti for dinner? That's kind of cool. Is that like a reflector? Yeah, maybe it's reflecting off the light. Is that that's a mini storage back there? Can you imagine trying to get into your fucking storage and all this shit's going on? I'm just trying to get my couch, baby. Get out of the way. Oh, man. That must be so nice. So at this point, they've got the protesters all backed off or the Antifa. They're not protesters, they're Antifa. Normal people are not doing that because this is the road that heads right in, boom, right in there. So clearly they're preparing for cars. Pretty solid police presence right there. There's one video that was really disturbing I want to show you. There was a few. Let's see here. This one. Okay, this one's interesting. Okay, so then the National Guard came out and they just started getting serious. They got their rubber bullets. This was earlier in the day. So what's with the Hamas, headgear? That is interesting to me. So we've got people that are wearing this out there. Clearly, probably an interesting conversation if you talk to that person. So they're not shooting anybody with rubber bullets. What is this? That's interesting, right? What is he doing? When you watch these videos, I like to watch what are these people doing? What are they wearing? What kind of signs? What's going on with these people? Right? That guy's dressed in like a jeans jacket, kind of a dad cap, totally standing out, right? That you do not want to be locked up in those. I think this like pepper spray, I think. I don't know. I got to do more riots. I'm not really hip on this stuff. Okay, so that was interesting. They did a little formation there, which cleared it out. There's a guy, and this interesting. This is Katie Davis Court. She's a reporter that was getting harassed by these lunatics out there. This is the pepper spray action. Okay, so later on it got interesting. They're lighting these cats up. What's he wearing? Looks like okay, so this person videotaping it clearly is not feeling it. Now, this is interesting. This guy here is like the security guard that reporter I just showed you brought. And so this person was getting harassed by these lunatics. And now you've got this interesting situation here where he's screaming. Now he's got the stick, so he's actually in the power seat here. I don't know why anybody would put themselves through this on a Sunday night. Okay, so that wasn't the one. I keep finding other videos. Let me go through. Saw that one. Maybe it's over here. Oh, well, okay. Well, there was an interesting video where a guy was he was doing like gun things. He was out in front of ICE and pretending to shoot them and making a thing of it. He stood out. It was really crazy. I know I got it in here somewhere. I don't want to bore you guys, but while we're doing this, we should talk about this guy here. Let's talk about this guy and we'll wrap up. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for watching, by the way. Please subscribe. If you're watching me for the first time, please subscribe on Rumble. The Rumble numbers are really great. So thank you guys. YouTube is growing almost at 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So thank you guys on YouTube. And on X, please like and reshare. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. This is always a lot of fun. So we should probably talk about this guy here who. Okay, so one of the other biggest weekend controversies is this guy here, man, Ian Roberts. So you probably heard this story, but it's really intriguing in a lot of ways. So this is Jonathan Turley wrote this. He's a independent, kind of moderate, but Republican kind of writer, as far as I believe. I could be wrong. So Des Moines, Iowa, had a school superintendent arrested by ICE. Okay, which is crazy. So this guy, there's all sorts of like nefarious connections to this guy. But the most important thing to know is that, the most important thing to know is that he was the district board headed by somebody named Jackie Norris. She's the former chief of staff to Obama's wife and a current Democrat candidate for Senate, for the United States Senate. She is the one, she's like asking for, this is Iowa, asking for Iowans to rally around Roberts and have empathy for him. And it turns out, and here's the DHS statement. There's a lot of info out there, but this is the best. I found this and thought this is a really good way to break it down. So he came in on a student visa in 99. He overstayed his visa by like 6 years. Okay. So he had a final order of removal. Oh, I'm sorry, not 6 years, 26 years. He had a final order, like a long time. He's been here forever. Final order of removal in 24. Okay. So he was on the final order. So to get there, I'm not some expert, but you have to get on the radar, right? So now they're saying they did a background check, but it turned out, this is early. Turns out they really didn't. And when they background checked him, they knew he had problems, but they put him in anyway. Okay. So and apparently he lied on his I-9 because he's not eligible. So he was hired by the school district in secret. It wasn't a public hiring. There wasn't any kind of public notice. He was hired. And they're saying there's conflicting reports on whether everyone was aware of him being illegal, but it's clear the ones making the choice did. Okay. And on top of that, he had a prior gun charge. Now, the gun charge is what put him on immigration's radar for the final order. So ICE had him on the list. They knew where he was at. They go out to get him. Okay. So when ICE and the state police got together, so back to Gavin Newsom's secret police Gestapo. Okay, if he doesn't like ICE, how about the state police of Iowa? Okay, they're helping out here. It's not just ICE. We're talking a combined law enforcement effort. They move in to arrest him. Why did they move in and plot this? He has a gun charge. He's dangerous. He has some history. So he jumps in his car and speeds off. Later on, they found him. I mean, they're ready for that, right? They know it's just hard to run from the cops, okay? Especially if they've been planning and they know where you live and where you're going, right? And obviously, this is his photo. He was found hiding in high grass. His car had a loaded handgun, a lot of cash, and a hunting knife. This is a kill kit, okay? It's a I'm on the run kit. This was in his car already. He was ready to go. It wasn't like, oh, let me get my gun and jump in the car. He had a kill kit. What a kill kit is, if if they try to apprehend me, somebody's dying, me or them. You don't carry a loaded handgun and a knife in your car when you're going to be on the run if you're just going to be a nonviolent person, right? You're just going to surrender. Clearly, this guy could have been a very serious problem. Okay. So they got him out of there. He's arrested. And that is not the end of the story, though. What's interesting is digging into his record overnight and digging in to see how this guy even got in this gig and what's going on. Oh, by the way, I'm sure you saw this. He's making $300,000 a year, making a lot of money. That job, that's more than $250,000 a year. Taxpayer, school district money going to a guy who, one, should not have been in the country legally. Now, that's not all. That's not the biggest problem for me. If he had been law-abiding and it's cool and he had been illegal, I'm open-minded to like, how did this happen? But he was here for more than 20 years. How does that happen? On top of it, he had a gun charge and still stayed in the country. How does that happen? And then he's around all the kids. He's in the school district. He's making choices. Superintendent making choices over children and staff and agendas. Heavily connected to I'd just say the Democrat Party in Iowa, the left-wing people who came out to support him. Obama is connected through Michelle to him. I'm just saying. And then on top of that, to kick it all off, he has a loaded handgun and a hunting knife. He has a kill kit. So it's not just a typical thing. And it's not just one person they're catching like this. It's a lot of these violent criminals they're catching, and this is the scenario. Now, not as wild as this, where he's like got this high-paying job and he's hanging out at the parties and doing his thing, and he's out in broad daylight just like, hey, around all the children. That's not the issue. With the violent history, a gun history, that's not the biggest issue. My biggest issue is this guy was prepared to fight. He was ready to fight. Now, let's say he didn't have the kill kit in there because he was going to get arrested. Now, he probably knew in his mind that was a possibility because Trump is on the warpath with this. But let's just say he had it in there before that. What are you doing with the gun and a knife and all that money? Just rolling around. And this is not a guy who's open-minded to conversation if things go bad. I'm just saying that seems to be the kind of, I guess, the reality of that. Now, here's something else that's interesting, and we might end with this. It's been fun. I'm over my time. I always go over my time with you guys. Okay, so here's some information about him. This came up this weekend. He's registered to vote. He's a voter. He voted. He's registered to vote. Here he is. Ian Roberts. He's registered as a Democrat. Okay, side note. Wouldn't it have been awesome if he had been a registered Republican? That would have been hilarious. All right, that would have been hilarious. So, yeah, so there's his house. I don't know if he's there right now. Some tells me he's not. If you want to go hang out, you can go hang out with him. So he's there's his personal info. Now, that was online here. Dustin Grage has that online. He says his sources close to the law firm representing the Iowa school. Now, the schools, obviously they lawyered up. Says he carries a Maryland ID to certain visa holders. So, he, as far as they're concerned, they're saying he was, no problem here. Nobody needed to know. But some tells me he should have said something. But the truth is, he's going back to wherever. Now, maybe not. Remember the Garcia guy, Abrego, is that his name? The Maryland man who was a a human trafficker and domestic violence guy and was considered a dangerous cat. And his situation is a mess. So who knows with that? So this could be the next poster child of the left, but I doubt it because after Charlie Kirk's murder, things are just way different. So I don't think that, and plus, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening, and Trump's doing stuff all the time. There's stuff, there's a lot of bigger things going on. So it could be that this doesn't catch, legs because there's a lot of bad things for the Democrats in this. Register to vote, Democrat, illegal, here for 20 years, illegal, gun charges, gun in the car, knife. It could have been a bad situation where he tried to hurt law enforcement. Anything's possible. So with the situation like that. So I don't know if they're going to make a thing of it in the mainstream media because there's just no good look to this. But who knows? But as far as they're reporting, he's on ice. I know. I had to say it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll leave you with this. God bless you. Stay safe. Thanks for checking it out. Checking out my show. I have a couple of interviews. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a busy week. Couple of interviews coming up that are really wonderful. I usually am on from 6-ish to 7 in the evenings. Just depends on how things go. I try to podcast every day of the week if it's possible. It's been a busy time, but I also have interviews as well. Check out my archive. I'm going to wrap with that. And those are two, those are, from my opinion, those are some of the biggest things that happened this weekend. Some things other than, and I did mention the terrible tragedy with the Mormon Church and all that, and my heart goes out to them. And, I may talk about that if I can dig into it a little bit. I did watch the press conference today. They did from the place where it happened, the folks there, the locals, they didn't say much, and they don't want to say much because it's clear he's a left-wing cat and they're trying to cover it up. You could tell. They didn't even answer questions. They maybe a few simple answers, but it was like a 15-minute press conference, and then they had the doctor come out to talk about the injuries, which I turned that stuff off because I don't need to hear about that per se. I mean, it's if you do, it's cool, but it's not my thing. But we may talk about that. But yeah, that's when to look for me. Also, my archive is on. Sometimes I go live in the middle of the day at noon. Sometimes, depending on if I have an interview. But thank you. I want to say thank you for watching. If you just found me, I appreciate you guys watching. It is the Jason J. Daniels Show. Thanks for watching. I'm on X. If you follow me on X, that would be cool, man. My X account is doing well, and really appreciate you guys if you might be interested in following me on X. It's I got to tell you, your support. Thanks for watching, guys. Your support is great because it's expensive to have X. They charge you a lot of. Elon Musk is charging me a lot of money. So if you guys share my stuff and like my stuff or just follow me, it really goes a long way to help my algorithm. And the more views, obviously, the better things are for me. So thank you for doing that. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, really appreciate that. Please subscribe. YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. I am on Twitch. I don't do a lot on Twitch, but I'm broadcasting on Twitch. So my archive is there of every show. But I'm going to be doing more when I have a little more time. YouTube subscription is cool. Thank you. I'm almost at 1,000. So if you subscribe, I really appreciate it. I also do sports and other stuff. I do true crime. I do a lot of politics because, that's kind of the thing that I do. And I have a lot of experience with it. And we can talk about that. And I have past experience running elections, writing initiatives in the middle of it. Local government politics, state politics. I have a history with that stuff. So that's why I'm kind of a junkie, political junkie. Not a Newsom junkie, not a San Francisco junkie, a political junkie. I like that stuff. I also like boxing, MMA, sports. When I get a chance, we do sports. So check that out. So it's not just political. There's other stuff. I have a lot of interests that I talk about. So thank you for that, guys. You can also follow me on Snap, IG, and Facebook. My Jason J. Daniel Facebook page, like 2,000 subscribers. So thank you, guys. So there you go. God bless you guys. Have a great day. Great evening, and thanks for watching, and please stay safe. And if you're conservative, keep your head on a swivel. And if you're going to go out to a protest, I don't know, just don't. Not those. There are other protests that are healthy. Protest safely, insanely. No violence. There's no. You fight back verbally. Do what Gavin says. Fight with your words. God bless you. Have fun. Take care.